This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome back to another edition of NHL 21 Franchise Mode here with our Edmonton Oilers. If you caught on Friday, you would have seen the opening of year number 2. The Oilers started off hot 4-1-0 and then all of a sudden went 8-9-3 the rest of the way in the simulation to get up to 25 games on the season. You caught in the title of that video, Connor McDavid absolutely dominating out there. 38 points, 25 games, among the league leader in points, 4 points back of Anze Kopitar. And yeah, right there too is Leon Draisaitl, Yamamoto with 33, Nuge with 23 almost point per game. And then it just falls off the face of the earth. The problem is for the Oilers. They are not scoring goals. We're getting killed on the power play, or when the other team's on the power play. So we're getting killed on the penalty kill. I've dug deep to figure this out, and what we're going to do is get things rolling differently up front and on the penalty kill. So, big thing, Nemesnikov gets the boost to the top line. Why? That +3, and he's got 2 goals, 9 assists, really allows us to hopefully boost him up as well as get something going. Kyler Yamamoto, +1, Nuge, Johansson. That was our defensive liability line because Puljujärvi, for whatever reason, was brutalizing it. You see Johansson -10, Nuge -9, but Yamamoto's a +15 because that's Kyler Yamamoto's game. We've now bumped down Puljujärvi to that line with Athanasiou and Turris, and then caught Haas and Benson. Thing is, we got to scratch Martin Kaut. He's not cutting it. We might have to send him down, and we have to get somebody else in on that right wing position. I've got a theory, I've got an idea, and I think I know what we need to do. So, special teams. I promised you a penalty kill fix. How about that? A maxed out almost +5 on the penalty kill. Benson, Turris, Nurse, and Clefbaum, and then only a -1 on the second unit. I can live with that. So, that leaves us where we're going. We're also going to hire a new AHL coach because we need to figure out how to get somebody better suited for them in there as well. So we'll go a couple of games here. We're going to get into this really fast and get going. We're just going to go to the New Jersey game, allow us a couple games at the AHL level, 6-3 win, and the offer I already offered him is filled. Shoot, so we got to go offer that coach Briggs there, or Biggs or whatever his name is, another contract. But look at that, 40 points now for Mr. Connor McDavid. Go hire staff and see if we can't shuffle things around a little bit here. Where was he? Where was he? He was there. We saw him. Biggs right there. We want him. We want him to go do the job as the AHL assistant coach. Which job isn't filled at the AHL level? Hold on, I should check that. I have a screen to do that and I didn't do it. So we're going to go into the find trade menu apparently. Okay, not happening, but we will have to go to that menu in just mere moments. So we have an AHL assistant coach position available. We don't want to fire Bernard Phaneuf. We like him. We want to keep him. He's good on our staff. Want to get Biggs down there as the assistant coach. And I guess it's on my screen. I just couldn't see it over the camera. I'm an idiot, but is what it is. We'll fire away and get the job done. All right. 640. Let's pay him a little bit extra. Let's get up to $6.99 there to be the NHL or AHL assistant coach. See if he can't help our staff out down there a little bit and hopefully get the AHL club going a bit more as well. But the Oilers, big story, 13-10 back in a playoff spot. That's what we need. That's what we want to see. And of course the LA Kings just going out there and leading the job. Anze Kopitar just dominating the NHL as it currently stands. So we'll get to this Nashville Predators game. New Jersey is going to be there we go. Kurt Biggs accepts the job. We win 5-2. And suddenly, okay, we're doing okay. Leon Draisaitl now leads the team with 41 points. Okay, interesting. But the bigger part is the coaching staff can now be assumed a little bit differently because you can fire the goalie coach here. We need to do that. He's been nothing but a liability to us. And now you demote Trevelyan, pardon me, hard words to pronounce, and promote this guy, Biggs, to head coach. And you see he fits the AHL team much better at a 65. That's what I want to see. I needed a team fit a little bit better than the 62, 64 I was getting. And you see how that's going to affect things on the farm club down here, is it should allow us to generate a little bit something different. Ryan McLeod really fits line 3. He's really loved by the coach. Safine's not so loved. And you see Sekinen, a guy that gets in there and can boost us up there. I like that a little bit more. And now you've got a couple of different options to play around with, you see. So that's what I'm liking. And then +1 Seth Griffith. Bingo, bingo, bingo. That's what I want. And of course, we want to get Raphael Lavoie going at some point here. I wonder if Maximov is better. He's suited there. Seth Griffith is best suited for the second line. And so hopefully we can figure that out. And the defense, this was the big thing I wanted to figure out. You get Samorukov up there with McCowan and then Legason up there as well. That's good. That looks dandy. And of course, Philip Broberg doing his thing, getting the job done. So that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see our farm club get a little bit more on the plus side here. And that's what we've achieved. So we'll talk about them in mere moments. But we've got a simulation to get going. We've won a couple games. So unless we lose 2 in a row, I'm not going to pull that trade. I'm liking what we're seeing here. So we'll go 1 game at a time. We got all the time in the world this evening. And against, Kyle Turris has been injured. So that means it is time to pull that trade. 100% we got to pull that trade and get this job done, because we cannot afford to run Cooper Marody and, of course, Gaetan Oss in the 1, 2, or 3, 4 roles. That really doesn't do the job for us. However, we get a chance to view the draft class. Okay, we'll take a look at the draft class here. A lot of medium elites to start it off. That's what you like to see. Victor Vorobov. Vorobov? I don't know. You guys know what I'm after most of the time. And you see a couple low elites, and then nothing really too standing out as of yet. Martin Kopp for 2/3. We're not about to do that anytime soon. And let's see what we get. 6-1 win. 3 straight victories. The goaltending suddenly come back to normal. But the problem is we got to switch things up. We got to go make a desperation move. Yes, Kyle Turris only out a couple of games. But there's a move the Oilers can make here that's really going to make an impact on how much we can do in terms of things. So if we go, let's say we can go trade Cooper Marody. Yeah, you know what? That's probably not a move everybody wants to make. But you look at this, Marody for over to these Leafs. And I've done the math. We're going to go blindside the Leafs in a trade. Seems like a good idea. You saw the title for this video. You knew it was coming. And Ilya Mikheyev, yeah, 82 overall, really struggling. 2 goals, 7 assists, but Cooper Marody, who's had 1 point in 6 games, I think it makes sense. And then you move Nemeshnikov to center on the 3rd line. You see, got this planned out, and there you go. Trade accepted. Mikheyev, a guy that they really wanted to get rid of. So now, let's go to edit lines here, and let's see what we can do by getting Mikheyev into the lineup and figuring out this Edmonton Oilers team just a little bit more. Mikheyev right there, substituting all lines. And now you move him up to the top line, Nemeshnikov to center there, and you can kind of play around a little bit different. Get Yamamoto up there, and Mikheyev, who's been -2 all season with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think that's an easy move to pull and an easy trade to get done. All of a sudden, yes, Puljujärvi's had 17 points. Andrés Athanasiou's up to 15 points. And suddenly, the goal scoring is coming. And by adding Mikheyev to that second line, we should be really able to get the job done. That's a temporary move because, of course, Kyle Turris will be back. And then we can kind of get back to business. But the Oilers, winners of 3 straight. Big trade there because of the injury. And now it's time to go see if we can win a couple big games in a row here. We'll go 3 games at it. St. Louis, 4 games in a row, 5 games in a row after winning against the Golden Knights. And then the Pittsburgh Penguins finally bring us back down to earth, 17, 11, and 3. And we're just about to see Kyle Turris return to the ice. Leon Draisaitl, 48 points, 31 games, absolutely dominating the NHL right now. Connor McDavid, 45 points. Yamamoto, 38. Yeah, Nugent Hopkins got 30. And then, yes, Puljujärvi's got 19. Johansson's got 18. Kyle Turris has 17. Klefbom, 16. 15 for Athanasiou. Nemeshnikov with 15. And suddenly everybody's getting in on the point production act. The goal scoring, though, it continues to be an issue. We do not have enough solid goal scoring out of other than two guys who have 37 of 128 goals or something silly here. That is a bit of a problem. However, let's go take a look at the NHL or AHL level, and you see same kind of situations happening all the way across the board. In terms of point production, Beret-Boulet's up there with 28 points. Broberg with 21 points. Samorukov with 20. Raphael Lavoie with 19. Senshin with 17. Bittner with 17. McLeod's all of a sudden gotten 16 points, and you like to see that. And yeah, we are all of a sudden producing quite the point totals at the AHL level as well. Valetti getting in there on the act as well. So now it's almost a question, where was Mikheyev in all of this? I didn't see him on the list, but how about right there at 11 points? So he's jolted up a couple of points so far. Good news for him, good news for us. And we just need to see him continue to score points at the NHL level. So the Oilers currently sitting 37 points, 3 points back of who we trail in the standings in the Pacific Division. Let's see another 4 games if we can't get something going here. It's going to be Kyle Turris, who's fully healed. Told you, he's back, he's ready to go. So that means now we can take Gaetan Haas out of the lineup. That's kind of what I've been waiting for. The right move, the right way. And that gets Kyle Turris up there, Vlad Nemeshnikov down to the 4th line. And that allows us to have a little different look. Mikheyev's full-time right winger. Yamamoto full-time right winger. So there's not much in terms of center left wing availability. And that is why Vlad Nemeshnikov will now be playing on the 4th line. But it all fits. It all works. 7-5 loss there. 4-3 loss there. Those are 2 tough games. A couple of close games. And ooh. Here's the problem. March 6th. For that. We're trying to get to the trade deadline here. But now do we go out and acquire a goaltender? I don't think we do. I think we got to just call up Stuart Skinner and call it good. We knew it was a possibility we were going to have a goaltender go down this season. Didn't expect it to be Jordan Binnington. That really sucks. We have to go to edit lines and get this going. That's a tough blow. You want to talk about something that's going to suck. Now you've got Stuart Skinner and Yaroslav Halak at the NHL level trying to get the job done. That's scary. To me, that's scary because Yaroslav Halak's struggled this year. And for us, Stuart Skinner's a 78 overall at the AHL level and struggling. So, Dylan Wells gets starting time. He's going to have to shine down there at the AHL level. 3-2 loss there, and that's all we lose. How about against the Toronto Maple Leafs? A 5-3 win. So Yaro Halak pulls through, gets us a win. But suddenly it's gone from bad to worse here for the Oilers. 51 points for Draisaitl. Quickly want to show you the progress reports for this season. That's another key thing here. Is you want to see kind of what everybody's making for progress. You've got Stuart Skinner, who's had a little bit of progress. But in the system, you've got Tarnasky up to a 65 overall now all of a sudden. He is moments away from making the AHL team and getting himself a contract. You've got plenty of prospects doing the job. Nikkanen now at 68 overall. That's good to see. You've got Philip Broberg, 9 or natural growth. You like to see that. Seekkonen's at 69, Senshin 74, and a lot of guys getting some natural growth going here. Brant Clark up to a 61 overall, and there's good things happening all across our AHL and system lineups. That's huge. So now the test is, can this Oilers team survive without Jordan Binnington? We weren't really surviving with him, so kind of surviving without him shouldn't be too hard at all here. 4-0 win. Yaroslav Halak, 2 wins, 3 goals against. In this league, that's pretty solid. 7 goals there. Must have been a Stuart Skinner game. 8 goals there. That was probably Yaro Halak as well. And suddenly we find ourselves out of the playoff picture. Connor McDavid, 55 points. You like that, but again, this team just top down, top heavy, and not really getting the job done. So there's not much more I can do other than keep going and see if the line changes pay off. 6-3 win there. Against Florida, 6-4 win. Against Buffalo's 5-3 loss. We just can't seem to make any ground. 5-4 shootout win. That's massive. And now you've got Evan Bouchard injured for a couple of days. That's tough. Really need him at the NHL level all the time producing. Ethan Bear, we don't want to do that. We want to get Vinny Heinola back in. This is why he's at the NHL level. He is key. He is needed to fill in on the defense. Malik, no, I don't think so, San Jose. I'm not even going to entertain that. 5-4 OT wins, so suddenly we're 23-17-3, and suddenly we're making up ground. 49 points. We're 6 points out of first place. Suddenly that's okay. Connor McDavid's 21 points above games played. Average right there. Draisaitl 62, Yamamoto 57, Nuge 47. You've got Johansson at 32. You've got Puljujarvi at 25. Mikheyev's just broken out of his shell. 23 points, 45 games. Turris 22, Clefbaum 22, 20 for Athanasiou, 19 for Nemeshnikov. And all of a sudden, you see all this scoring here happening. It is gold. It is glorious, and it's what we needed to happen at long last, because this is massive for us to see happen. And you see Martin Kaut, 7 points so far. He's doing the job just fine on that right wing. Just fine. No problems about it. So, you know what? It's interesting. It's 64 points, top down, 35 goals for Connor McDavid. We've awoken the goal-scoring Connor McDavid. There's only Vinny Heinola who hasn't scored more than 2 goals. But again, the goal scoring, you'd like to see that a little bit higher for the rest of our guys. And when it comes to goalies so far, you've had Stuart Skinner wear 2 losses. I mean, what are you expecting, right? And Yaroslav Halak, 8-5 and 0, 369 goals against average. Not really much different numbers from our guy, Jordan Binnington. So, what's going on at the AHL level? I guess that's the question. Beret Boulay, what's he up to? 31 points in 32 games played. Dmitry Samorukov, 25 points. You've got McCowan with 24, Broberg with 23. So quite the even spread here of players scoring a bunch of points. Folletti with 7, Sekinin with 7. Everybody's getting in on the act and getting points scored, but we just can't seem to bust through and get the job done, and especially that would be partly due to the goaltending. Dylan Wells has been solid, 903 and a 3.0 goals against average, and Olivier Rodrigue getting a win as well, even though he allowed like something silly like 3.69 goals against average in a game. And the Bakersfield Condors are 18, 12, and 2. So imagine if they were getting the top-down goal scoring from Connor McDavid and the likes of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and all the rest of the crew. Then we would be doing just fine. So Dallas, it's going to be a tough test. We needed that when we got it. 3-2 in a shootout, 4-1 in a loss against Montreal, 3-2 there against the Flames, and those are losses that sting, right? Those are big ones that we can't have happening, yet they're happening. Vinny Heinola, 6 games played, nothing happening solid for him. He still hasn't scored a point, so Evan Bouchard gets back in and will hopefully deliver something for us. You see, this is a terrible trade at top 6 forward in the 7th D low. I'm not even entertaining those right now. Against Florida, we can't keep losing, and we do. 24, 21, and 3 on the season. You know what? We're going to make some line changes here. See if we can't find a solution. Connor McDavid, 68 points in 48 games played. That's still 20 more points than games played. He's on pace for a 100-point season. And you see Mikheyev +2, but this third line, man, this third line is just an absolute disaster. So Tyler Benson, who's a -11, Martin Kaut's a -13, Nemeshnikov's a -12. Our bottom 6 just getting absolutely exposed. So we'll try flipping the wingers with each center and see what that does for us, but I really doubt it does much of anything. And we'll give Mikheyev a chance to play with McDavid and Draisaitl, see if that gets him going. Go +1s across the board and see what happens here. But to be minuses on this team, you know what? We're losing games because of the goaltending. I can't do much about that. We're not going to go out and trade for a backup goaltender when Jordan Binnington's going to be back in March. It is what it is. It sucks. It's an unfortunate injury, but we just have to live with it and survive through it. Against Vegas, 7-4 loss. That's ugly. Go to view draft class here. See what we got going on. So have we figured anything else out about any prospects? This Ralph Lyon goaltender, he looks good. High elite potential, 2-tick. And really, we still haven't figured out much about anyone else, have we? Nothing really at all. There's 2 guys projected scout ranking to go 1 And realistically, there's a bunch of medium elites there. We have a lot scouted, a little bit more information than we had last year, but still, right? 2 top 6 forwards, but the scouts really still struggling to get us going. Top 4D potential and a medium starter potential. Okay. All right. There's a couple of options here, but again, still not as good as it could be. 8-5 win over top of the Columbus Blue Jackets. 25, 22, and 3. You'd like to win some games in overtime. That's all I'm saying. 4-1 loss. I guess not really win games in overtime, but lose games in overtime if we're going to lose more games. So let's get to this trade deadline and just suck it up, I guess. 26 wins. Stuart Skinner, Martin Cott for 2 third-rounders. I don't think so. That's not happening. Stillman, McLeod for Fleury and a 4th-round pick. Don't think that's happening either. And Vancouver, 6-5 OT loss. There we go. That's what I want. If we're losing, that's what I want happening. The Devils have fired their head coach. Good for them. We might have to fire our head coach here pretty soon. 27, 23, and 4. Let's go take a look. Is that Devils coach really special? Is that Devils coach anything special? That's going to be the question. Let's go hire staff and see if we can find something here. Yves Lefebvre. Ah, there he is. There he is. And he has a 58% team fit with us. That, my friends, is not going to do the job. Caden Moore, 43 team fit, 59, 64, 48, 59, 59. Like, right, there's not many options better than what we have. 68 for our head coach here. You know what, Dylan Cools, he could do something effective for us. 68's about top end. You can get 68, 72 sometimes. But, right, there's nothing out there on the market that goes and screams, I'm a better coach than what you've got. So, can't exactly afford to hire a new coach quite yet. And the Oilers, who are sitting, still contending, right? We're just outside of a playoff spot, minus a point on the Coyotes. So, if we lose some games in overtime, we could get this job done. Let's go take a look, see if we can't get up to this Capitals game. Take a look at the stats and see kind of where we need to sit come trade deadline time. 6-2 overtime, or 6-2 overtime win. 6-2 win against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then a 9-1 loss. Hang that one in the rafters. That is an embarrassment. 85 points now, so almost 30 points more. Connor McDavid guaranteed point per game season, just absolutely dominating. You've got Draisaitl with 79, Yamamoto with 68, Nuge with 54, and you've got 38 out of Johansson, 33 out of Mikheyev, 29 out of Puljujarvi, Namestnikov 28, Athanasiou 26. Right, everybody's spreading the goal scoring evenly here, right? Benson's still 18, but nobody's doing it in style for us, and that is what's really hurting us. Again, goal scoring. Still, we only have 2 20-goal scorers, and it's Connor McDavid with 44 goals in 56 games, right? That's unrealistic numbers to expect out of one guy through 56 games, and the assist numbers still aren't anything special. Yeah, sure, you got a bunch of 20 assist guys, but we're just not doing the job effective enough. Stuart Skinner blowing it up in net. I mean, no better is Yaroslav Halak, so it's tough. In net for the Bakersfield Condors, though. Look at these numbers. These are fantastic numbers in net for Dylan Wells, who should definitely be growing his game a little bit more because of these numbers. Bure-Boulet with 48 points, Maximov with 39. Now, you like to see this goal scoring depth. That's huge goal scoring depth. Like to see that all day. And you see the assist numbers as well, just doing just dandy for everybody. Broberg there with 34 points in 47 games. He's having a heck of a season. You've got McCown with 31 points. Like, this is what we want to see, but our defense certainly leading the way so far this year down in Bakersfield. So we'll get up at the trade deadline, or a day or two before the trade deadline. And then I think I will get a live stream out for the trade deadline going into the playoffs. So we'll get to this game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, see what the Oilers' fate leads them to here. 7-4 loss. That one really stings again. Against Calgary, 6-4 win. And this is a monster deal. All of our prospect depth for Janmark, Tanev, and a 3rd-round pick. Don't think so, Calgary. Don't think so at all. And 4-3 win against New York. Okay, all of a sudden we're rolling. 6-3 loss, and that costs us because now we're a 30-win team, and we need about 12 to 13 more wins to secure anything. The Oilers find themselves sitting 5 points out of a playoff spot because in the West, it's 65 points gets you a playoff spot. So I guess we're 1 point out of a playoff spot. Really not that far realistically. But Connor McDavid, 91 points in a total of 60 games played. Draisaitl, 84. And still, the goal scoring depth really not improving much at all. But at least we now have lots of guys in double digits. And the points depth kind of not improving much either. So tough to say what the Oilers do here. Clefbaum with 7 goals, Caleb Jones with 7 goals, Mikheyev with 10. But to figure out what goes right here the rest of the way home, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to figure that out at the trade deadline because it's interesting to see how it's all shaped up. You see Bure-Boulet with 53 points for the Bakersfield Condors, and the progress reports. Let's take a look at that, see how that all shapes up for us as well, as nobody's really growing anything special. Actually, Stuart Skinner, who's now earned 79 overall. So he keeps growing, but he really has been quite awful for us, and that's quite unfortunate. And you see some natural growth there in durability for Evan Bouchard. And then you go to the AHL system where Tullio's now a 63 overall. Ostap Safin's up to a 74. Tarnasky's up to a 70. And how can you not get him into the AHL lineup at this point? But we'll keep letting him grow. Keep letting him go all the way through a season without being signed, then make him a difference. Bure-Boulet now a 79. You almost have to get him up to the NHL and send down Martin Kaut, and I think that's what we're going to have to do because Bure-Boulet, you know what, he looks like he could be a masterpiece. His offensive awareness, 83, could be useful for sure. And then you've got Sullivan there. You've got a couple of our other prospects. Valletti's now at a 69. He's growing solidly. Nikkanen, 68. Brant Clark, 62. You've got King at 59. And you see these guys just growing their game on the farm club, and you love to see it oh so much. You see even Stillman's up to a 51. Everybody's doing the job the way they should be. So it's looked solid, but we need our guys just to get that little bit more growth going. And Tarnasky looks to be a guy that could really fill in a role on the AHL club if we were to go sign him. So let's see kind of what the situation would dictate, right? He fills in for Seekinen, who's only had 12 points, where Seekinen's a two-way forward. So yeah, you know what? Let's get Tarnasky in there. He's a low elite potential. He could really fire away and get the job done. So we'll sign our hot prospect, who we have 46 contracts, so we can move out a contract or two to go sign a contract or two, and that's at the NHL level. We want in the system, and he is what? A right winger, Tarnasky? He is not. He is a centerman. Okay, Tarnasky is a... Am I missing something here? Am I missing, or is he a defenseman? Is Tarnasky a defenseman? Am I missing this all the way? Hold on here. What am I doing? Let's go unsigned players. Where is Tarnasky? Tarnasky, right defenseman. Never mind. He's a right defenseman. My bad. I got all excited, thought he was a forward. But he is a right defenseman. And of course, he could take a job from Philip Berglund. So 100%. I don't know why we didn't offer him a contract to begin with. Get in here, Tarnasky. We're going to get you on the team. You're going to sign that deal. And you're going to get going with the Bakersfield Condors, playing alongside Gabriel Valletti. That's going to be a no-doubter right there. Because you see Berglund at a 63. Well, now we can get Tarnasky, who's a 70 in there. And where does he fit better? He fits on line 2 better. That doesn't really create much of anything for us. But a 6'3", 198 kid. Okay, good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, to be continued. The fate of the season hangs in the balance. The Condors are 30-15-5 and absolutely dominating. Dylan Wells just doing a fantastic job. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you in the next one.